All right, so with this lab, let's go ahead and configure the IP addresses on the interfaces on the big IP outside and inside, and check the connectivity with the servers that we are going to use within the lab. Just to remind you that the steps to configure the IP address on the big IP interface is to create VLAN. We have to create VLAN first, attach the VLAN to the physical interface, and then we're gonna create self IP, attach it to the VLAN interface. Let's go ahead to the big IP interface. So to configure the IP addresses, we're gonna go under the network. We start with VLAN, click on VLAN list, click on create. We're gonna name this outside, no tag, interface 1.1, select untagged, click add, and then click finish. Click create again. Inside, no tag, interface 1.2, untagged, add. I can click repeat. It will create the inside interface and open a new VLAN. So if you are creating more than one VLAN, you can say repeat instead of finish. But for now, we only wanted to create two interfaces, and remember, untagged. So the outside VLAN is linked to the physical interface 1.1 as an untagged interface. The inside is linked to 1.2 as an untagged. Ignore this tag. This is just a dummy tag that F5 uses. It's not a VLAN ID. Now, we created the VLAN, attached the VLAN to the physical interface. Let's go and create self IP. So for the self IPs, you can click on self IP, click create, or this plus sign, you see, when you hover the mouse over the plus sign, it becomes green. I can click it to create self IP. So I'm gonna call it outside IP 192.168.100.1. This is going to be our outside self IP. Mask is /24. Now this is where you attach this IP address to the outside VLAN, so to the interface 1.1. Click repeat. Inside IP 10.00.1 /24, and this should be the inside interface. Click finish. Now we have two interfaces, two self IPs, sorry. So outside IP linked with outside VLAN, inside IP linked with inside VLAN. So now let's go back to the port lockdown. If you remember the slide, we said on each self IP, we have a port lockdown configuration. We can allow none, allow all, allow default, allow custom include default. So let's test this. Now on the big IP, we know that the inside interface is 10.00.1, so we can ping the inside interface. Remember, we manage the big IP from its management IP. So by default, on the management interface, I am allowed to SSH, I am allowed to HTTPS. But on the inside interface, I can ping, but I don't expect that I am allowed to manage, which I can't. If I go back to the inside the self IP, so click on network, click on self IPs, click on the inside, you see that the port lockdown is allow none. That's why when from a PC located inside, I couldn't manage. If I go ahead and change the config, I say allow the default, click update, there you go. Now I can manage. Now I can manage the big IB using the inside interface. If I change to allow none again, just give it a quick test. Now I cannot manage again. Let's use allow custom, right? And let's add only port 443 TCP. Click update. Try again. There we go. So this is how we use the port lockdown on interface. As I said, on both interfaces, inside and outside, by default, it's allow none. If you need, for any reason, to allow any port on specific interface, you have to come and configure it explicitly. Maybe you want to run routing protocol, OSPF, so you have to allow it. Maybe you need to run, for example, BGP. Maybe you need to run SNMP on one of the interfaces. This all has to be explicitly allowed on the inside or the outside interface.